Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to try to do a little myth busting on some things I see out there in the internet and talking with friends about guns, particularly shotguns, how they spread, what influences that, those types of factors. So first off, there's three things that really influence the spread of your pattern. Number one is the ammo used. So certain types of ammo are going to have a tighter wad. There's a lot of new technology in the last, say, 10 years that really does keep buckshot patterns a lot tighter than they used to. We're not going to use that today, but that is one thing that certainly influences it. The choke on your barrel. So, you know, if you have a really restricted choke, or if you just have like an open cylinder, you're probably going to get different patterns. The individual gun itself is going to vary as well. So you could have two 870s, they're going to pattern differently with this exact same type of ammo. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. It's one of those things, it's like rifle accuracy. You just have to test it and see. And the other big variable is going to be distance. So your spread's obviously going to be a little bit tighter. The closer you're in, and when you start getting back out, those pellets are going to keep spreading out. So we're going to get into exactly how that works today. We're going to use Remington 870. There's a lot of different guns out there, but 870s are very common, so I wanted to use that so you guys could get an idea of what you could actually expect out of that. And the round we're going to use is a 12ga Buckshot. It's double-aught buck, full power stuff. So it's a very common ammo these days in America. So I wanted to use that. There certainly are what I would consider to be better defensive loads. This one certainly would get the job done for sure. But what we're going to do is just start checking the patterns and back up and see what we get along the way. One thing I didn't mention earlier is, of course, barrel length is going to make a difference. So what we have here is a Remington XCS shotgun, I should say. It's an 870 variant and has no special modifications to the end of the barrel. 18-inch barrel, I think 18.5 actually. What we're going to do is right now we're at 5 yards. All these distances, guys, because I know people are going to question it because it's the internet, have been checked with this Nikon ProStaff 7i rangefinder. So distances will be accurate throughout the video, I assure you. It's not just an estimate. So again, we're at 5 yards, and with that 12ga Buckshot, let's see what it does. Generally speaking, folks expect buckshot to spread out at about 1 inch per yard. So 5 yards, this is actually on the tight side. So we have this one piece over there. Very well could have been the wad. I'm not 100% sure on that, but we definitely have 9 pellets concentrated right there in the face. This guy would be having a bad day. Right about 3.5 inches of spread. So we're going to back it up and see what we get. 10 yards now. We're going to lower the point of aim a little bit so we can reuse the target. Definitely spread out a good bit there at 10 yards. Either way you measure it, we're getting right about 9 inches. So what we're going to do now is back up again, refresh the target, take another shot. Back at 15, same ammo, same everything. So we'll see what we get on there. My guess is we're going to have a pretty good spread at this distance. Let's see. My guess is that piece right there is the wad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So all 9 pellets on. That's certainly a good thing. Let's check out the spread and see what we got here. I actually was kind of thinking we might have lost one, but we didn't. So it's about 13 by 10, the spread on that one at 15 yards. So certainly a good bit of spread. We're back out at the 15-yard line, and this time we're going to use a different load. So we're not going to use that Rio load. We're going to use the Federal Premium double-aught buck. This one here has the flight control wad. It's a very popular self-defense load. And that flight control wad purports to keep your patterns tighter regardless of the gun you use it in. So we're going to see if that's true. Same distance, same everything. 15 yards, same gun. Let's see what it does. That's actually exactly what I was expecting. Me personally, I certainly wouldn't feel comfortable with that Rio stuff beyond 15 yards. Really, you're responsible for every pellet. So you always want to make sure they're sort of grouping, if you will. This one here, you can see the advantage. The same amount of pellets that you get with it. Same gun, same distance. And we got about a 4-inch spread. So that's pretty impressive stuff. We're actually going to back up, take a longer shot with this same load. See what we get. We move back to 25 yards. Everything else is the same. We're using that Federal flight control stuff. We're going to see what we can actually keep on the target here at this distance. So Let's see. Let's go check it out. Well, let me count the holes up here real quick. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 holes there. It's hard to say if 2 pellets went through 1 or not, or if we actually lost one off the target. Honestly, I don't know. I can count 8, so that's what I'm going to go with. So there at 25 yards, that load coming out of the 870 is going to give you a 9-inch pattern. So you can see it did a very good job even at that distance. So a few things we want to learn from this. Number one, you got to pattern your gun and your load that you're going to use, so that way you know what to expect. In the event, you should have to take a 25-yard shot. Now, most folks, that's about the extreme distance that we're going to be doing with the shotgun. So another thing we learned is people always say you don't have to aim with a shotgun. Well, that's simply nonsense. Look around your house and take a look at what the average engagement distance would be. I'd be willing to bet it's probably about in that 5-yard range. That's, you know, roughly 15 feet that we're talking about. And that's a pretty long shot for home defense, you know. So you got to pattern your rifle and know what to expect. And even if you're shooting at 5 yards, even with that Rio load, I mean, we were talking about a group this tight with a more modern, more higher technology load. I mean, that federal stuff's going to group right at an inch. So you absolutely have to aim. You absolutely can miss with a shotgun inside of a home. So ensure that your marksmanship fundamentals are on. But, you know, also one thing people ask is, do I want a big pattern or do I want a small pattern? All right. So my opinion on that, again, like we talked about earlier, is that you're responsible for every single pellet that goes downrange, legally and morally. So I personally want a tight pattern. That's just not just for liability, but for lethality. One of the things that makes the shotgun such an excellent gun when you're dealing out buckshot loads is that it puts a lot of lead in one place quickly. So having that concentrated load, if you guys have ever seen gel tests at very close distance with shotgun loads, you'll see it just absolutely demolishes the tissue where that thing hits. Now, if you don't do that and there's a large amount of spread, you're going to have, you know, depending on the buckshot load you have, .36 caliber, .33 caliber pellet holes going in people. That's good. That's an awesome thing, no doubt about it. Having 9 of those spread across your chest is something that's going to make you reconsider your career options if you're a criminal, no doubt. But if you're looking to cease the threat, I want a large amount of pellets in one space in those vital organs. It's my personal opinion. But that's about it, guys. I just wanted to show some of the realities of shotgun patterns with a couple different loads with a very common gun on some kind of cool looking targets here that give you a rough depiction of what the actual human anatomy looks like. So that's about it. If you have any questions, by all means, post below in the comments section. There's not going to be any more shots. I don't know if you guys can see, but there is a storm rolling in. So I'm going to pack up the cameras and the guns and head out. But that's about it, guys. Thanks for following. Thanks for liking the videos. Thanks for subscribing. I really do appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next video.